Kyle reviewed. Like and subscribe.
Hey guys, just finished watching Supergirl, Season 5, Episode 10, the bottle episode. Wow, what an interesting episode. Just finished watching the Batwoman episode, and this is way better. Oh my god, such a great episode. I needed to watch that, and it was such a bad episode. I needed to watch this right after to kind of cleanse it, because oh my god, it was horrible. But and there was something that kind of bothered me getting it from the Batwoman episode. There's a thing that goes on in the Batwoman episode. I'm not going to spoil it or anything like that, but she has there's an article that shows up in that in there, a Catgo article written by Carol Danvers, and it's clear as day that it's there. So and it just kind of pissed me off that we didn't see it in here, because all it would have taken was just a scene in the Batwoman episode where she, picks up her phone, texts Carl, "Hey, I got a story for you," and then we see Carl get the text message on her phone going, "Oh, I got a story for you." Boom, that's it. That's all we need is a quick little scene of them doing that, and then putting it on both episodes, and then it kind of, it shows the interaction of the characters actually interacting now that they're all on the same Earth. That would be so cool, and building up the relationship without actually crossing over. And that's what I would like to see. And it would be so easy to do something like that. They do that all the time every now and then when Barry sees a newspaper and Oliver's in prison, or vice versa. Oliver sees on the TV that Barry's in prison, things like that kind of little crossovers be really cool. But just the texting stuff is really super easy. You just need a bloom. Don't even need to show the phone. You can show it on the Batwoman part, since they're the one using the story, right? They're the one who needs the little help from the character, right? But you don't have to show it on Supergirl. You just see her phone goes off, and oh, Kate, type thing. And it just says Kate. You don't see what it's about. They don't even need to know what it's about, right? But it just would have been really cool to see that. But getting into this episode, dealing with Lex Luthor, running the DEO, running Catgo and all that stuff, that was really kind of cool. Or at least I think Lena sold it to Andreas and stuff, so that was kind of interesting. And playing around with this whole Brainiac episode, I think that was kind of okay. The Brainiac still looks stupid. I'm glad he's no longer blue. That blue looks kind of really stupid, and the green version of him looks okay. I kind of would like to see him not just stay human form, but at the same time, the green and the blue both look stupid. The blue is the most stupid. I'm glad that's never coming back. Now they wrote that out of continuity there, and they now made him, now he's going to be permanently green, so if ever he reverts to himself, he's green, right? And I've kind of wanted them to maybe keep him green somewhat, maybe him change up his clothes, or maybe, he stays green, but he wears that costume when he's out fighting as a superhero, and he wears regular black DEO clothes when he's not, but and then maybe have his hair cut short or something like that, like Brainiac in the comics, if I'm not mistaken, he had short hair. But I don't know, whatever, we're still gonna get him staying in regular human form, just because it's cheaper on stuff and easier than him having to stay in all that makeup, which it makes sense. But just with after this whole season about aliens living free and living all that stuff, it just doesn't make sense. And they even talk about it here, and he ends up at the end of the episode just wearing the image inducer, looking human again. So it's just kind of a bit weird for the tone of the show, but it makes sense production-wise, and it's just kind of wish they would write that better into the show as to why he wears it all the time, and they keep bringing it up, but it never goes anywhere. And he always ends up wearing the image inducer again. So, I don't know, it was just a bit weird there. Seeing Supergirl kind of having, she was pretty much in her costume the whole episode, which is, I found it a bit weird at most times. At certain times it made sense, but other times it's like, why wasn't she just switch back? Even you're at the DEO, you gotta change of clothes, or she's Supergirl, she can just zip back and switch, right? But then it made, obviously it makes more sense in production-wise that she would have been still finishing filming up some of the Crisis stuff, so it's just keep her in the suit for this whole episode so that she can just, film stuff for this episode, that stuff for Crisis, episode Crisis, so she was probably filming this in the middle of Crisis at the same time, so I think that's probably why they had to keep her in the costume the whole episode, which was pretty cool because it's a great costume. And it's going to be quite interesting to see as to where things go. So all in all, this episode was pretty good. Having the old witch back and stuff, and dealing with a bottled planets and stuff is quite interesting. And then setting up Brainiac to be secretly working with Lex Luthor to take him down without anyone else helping, and then having to kind of break up with Nia over that could be something interesting to see. We'll have to wait and see as to where things go with that, and like the potential for it. And then seeing Win Shot back in the next episode looks interesting. I'm disappointed that the next episode looks like it's, framing him up to be another Toyman. So that could be, if he's just back for one episode and then that's it, that could be disappointing. But if we get a whole new version of him, because it would be interesting to see with Crisis, do we still have our version of Win Shot in the future? Is he still in the future, or is him and Mon-El were in the different future, and our Mon-El and our Win Shot are dead, are gone. That would be interesting to see if they were permanently wiped out and this was a completely different version. But then I would hate for them to just come up, and I feel like they probably will with this show. It seems too obvious for them to have just John just kind of, let me just mind wipe this Win Shot so that he can become the Win Shot again. That just seems a bit cheap. So I don't know. Maybe actually have him be a killer, and actually have him be Toyman. But I hope it's not just for one episode, like it's a one-off filler villain, because that would be kind of disappointing. Yeah, it's having the actor who was in the first episode, having a familiar actor back, but the only person who can pull off a really good, one and done filler episode villain is Mark goddamn Hamill, because he's Mark Hamill, and having Win Shot back is not enough to do something like that to excuse the option of a filler episode. And unless you get a big name like Mark Hamill, don't do a goddamn filler episode. And this is why these shows should just cut down to just 10 episodes. Take the 22 episode or 20 episode budget and put it into 10 episodes. Or heck, what I would love to see is just all these shows crushed into one show with 5 times the budget. No Superman show, no Batwoman show, no this. All that into one show with like a Justice League show with 6 times the budget of all of these stuff. That would be amazing, but they're never going to happen. So, all in all, I'm excited to see where the future is, and I'm excited to see how Crisis affects the other show, and I'm excited to see how the Crisis affects more of the show as time goes on, but it looks like they've answered a lot of questions here. So, let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. Do you think we'll get to see Jeremiah Danvers back? That'd be really cool. I'd love to see Dean Cain back. But, or maybe even Helen Slater. We don't know what was up with them. Did they make it up there? Or do we have 2 Helen Slaters here? Is she one of the people that brought on the ship and stuff? And some doppelgangers, that could be cool. Definitely can't wait to see as to where things go with all that. So let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below about this episode. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Okay, Kyle has a YouTube channel called Kyle Reviewed. It's about Marvel and DC. I happen to know a little bit about DC since my initials are DC. All right, so if you like Kyle's interviews and videos and reviews and everything like that, then like and subscribe. If you don't like them, well, maybe you're just not a comic book fan.